Today's chat is about learning to let go, like finally letting go of all of that dead weight, whether this was a person or maybe even you're quitting a job that doesn't serve you anymore. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's get right into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the CWT podcast. I'm your host, T. So I recently broke things off with someone, and it was a long time coming. It's so tiring having to carry a relationship or being the only one who wants the relationship. Like, it's so tiring. This was with someone that I've known for a very long time. I was done, like I mentally and sort of emotionally checked out already. I think as women, honestly, I want you to think about the person or situation that you held on to or that you are still holding on to, and what made you hold on longer than you needed to. What was your last straw? And also, what did this person teach you, right? Like, what was the lesson in all of this? So why do I think that we hold on? So one of the really big things that I feel like I held on longer than I needed to was fear. I think that I was so afraid that I would never find someone who would make me feel the way that this person made me feel, or I would never share an experience like this with someone else, right? So sometimes we stay in relationships or we stay in jobs because we think we're not going to find better. You know, we have this fear of the unknown, right? We don't know what's going to come from us letting go. So we cling on to what we already have, even though this person is draining us. They may be using us. They are stressing us out. We're more sad than we are happy. So we hold on. And I really think that was one of the really big reasons why I did hold on to this relationship, because I was fearful. I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm ever going to find anyone, like I said, who I share this experience with, who makes me feel this way, who I have this bond with. But I'm learning that, you know, I can have great experiences with other people. And I want to say it's okay to kind of feel that way, but to know that there's better out there for you. So you don't have to hold on to dead weight because you fear you're not going to find it. Like, you're going to find another great experience. You're going to find and even develop an awesome bond with other people, or in the sense of like work. You're going to find a job that appreciates you, that values you, that recognizes you and your hard work. So definitely, if you are someone who is fearful of letting go, do not be fearful, because you are going to find something that is so much better, or it's going to find you. So don't even hold on to dead weight. Another big reason that I feel that I held on longer, or why I think that we kind of as a collective hold on longer than we need to, is because of history. And relationship-wise, I think that this is by far the biggest excuse or the biggest reason for holding on, right? You're like, oh God, I had this relationship for 5-6 years. Like, they're all I know, you know? And, you know, speaking with me, like, this relationship I had for a very, very long time. So I had that mindset too, but that mindset is so dangerous, and it's going to keep you in places that you should have already left, right? You're trying to repair, or you're trying to continue with the relationship that it's not working for you. So for example, like, I've been dealing with this person for a little bit over like 7-8 years. And so, you know, it was crazy of me to think that I could continue a relationship with someone when I'm not even the same person that I was 7-8 years ago, and that person isn't really the same person that they are 7 or 8 years ago. So it was me trying to get back the relationship that we had 7 or 8 years ago. Bear with me, I know that sounds kind of confusing. I was trying to get back that same relationship that we had previously, and I didn't realize that we aren't the same people that we used to be, right? That relationship that we had at the time, 7-8 years ago, that relationship served who we were at that time. So that relationship worked out for me 7-8 years ago. I was younger. I'm going to say I was young because I'm still young, but I was younger. And yeah, that relationship was for us, who we were years ago, but we're not those same people. So I hope that this is making sense. Also, for the people who were besties since diapers, it does not mean you have to allow certain shit to slide or to continue, right? The memories that you share, you can keep them, honestly. They're not going to actually like go away once you break things off, but know that you're going to create new memories. Another reason why I held on longer than I needed to was my I felt it was my job to fix them. Or let me speak in a sense of, staying in a job that doesn't serve you anymore, right? You're trying to climb the corporate ladder, you're slaving yourselves, yet you remained overlooked, undervalued, and underappreciated. So with me, with the relationship, I definitely saw the old version or the unhealed version of myself in them. And that was also why I held on, because I wanted to help make them better, because I healed parts of me. This might sound crazy. Okay, I healed parts of me and I see those parts in her, the unhealed parts, if that makes sense. So I'm like, okay, like I've been through this, I fixed this. I'm in a much better space now and I can help them get to the space that I'm in. And that was really why I did stick around, because I actually did feel bad for this person. I knew that they could do better. I just wanted to help make them better. And like I said, I was healed in those areas, and so I wanted to help. And this person didn't ask really either, although they did kind of dump all their baggage on me. So I did, I took it upon myself to do it anyway. So that's also another big reason why I feel like we do hold on longer than we need to. So how do you know that it's time to let go? First of all, it's very one-sided. Unrequited love. Go listen to Bad Religion by Frank Ocean. Everything is just one-sided. None of what you do is being reciprocated. You're always giving, and they just take. They do you in a way where you think to yourself, you would never do them like that. Like, they do you so dirty. It makes you so sick to your stomach, because you would never give them that treatment that they gave you. And when it's one-sided, they treat you like an option every chance they get. They're going to treat you, you're the last resort, basically, and they can utilize you at their disposal whenever they feel like it. There's just a lot of poor treatment, and they're going to continue until you break things off. So when it's one-sided, they like leech off you, basically. Like, they're gonna suck you until you're dry. So if it's very one-sided, you find yourself bringing or being the only one who's initiating things, or you're the only one that's putting in the work, and you're the only one that's actually trying to make this relationship work, it's one-sided and you need to let go. Another indicator that it's time for you to let go is you have cried more than you smiled, okay? And I feel like this is something that's very self-explanatory, but you value them more than they value you. You gotta let it go. Honestly, you have to allow people to experience their growth and their journey on their own, because it's not gonna be the same as yours. Like, I'm growing, I'm evolving, I'm on this journey. To know that it's time to let go is resentment. Oh, resentment. Oh my God. Resentment it's a horrible feeling, right? I'm a super forgiving person, and I think that, okay, I'm super forgiving, but I'm also kind of a people pleaser. So bear with me. But I think that my wishes and what I wanted were falling on deaf ears, right? When you're wanting things, you're constantly, I don't want to say I was complaining, but I did want better, or I wanted more from the relationship, and I wasn't getting that. It was, like I said, it was falling on deaf ears. I no longer wanted to stay in a situation that made me unhappy. And I think that I also just exhausted all of my options with this person. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I was just throwing in the towel. I really did all that I could. And when you feel like you've reached this point, you're going to know. You're going to be like, damn. Or some people don't know and they continue on. It's okay. Like, I understand, but you're gonna reach a point where you're just tired. It's everything falls on you, and it's just not fair. So if you find yourself crying more than you're smiling, or you're stressed and you're pressed and depressed all the time, like, another indicator that I knew it was time to let go was that I outgrew this person. So remember how I was talking about this was like a 7-8 year relationship, and I'm not who I was 7-8 years ago. And, I shouldn't be. No one should be who they were 7-8 years ago. You should always be evolving and leveling yourself up and trying to make yourself better. But I talked about this before, and you cannot make people grow with you, right? It was this thing where I saw the best in this person, even when they didn't, right? I knew that they could be better than who they were. And that's why I stuck around. And that's another thing too. When you see this potential, it clouds you, and you're like, I know they can be this. I know they can do this, but they weren't putting in the work, and they weren't showing me otherwise. It's not going to look the same for everyone else. I think that I was trying to force that on this person in a way. because I really wanted them to grow with me. I really was just tired of the BS and I wanted better for us both. But you can't do that. You have to allow people to experience their growth and journey on their own because it's not going to be the same as yours. They have a way of growing and being on their journey, and that's their experience. It's not going to be the same as your experience. And the last indicator, it just sucked because, when you delay the process of letting go, you start to resent them. Like you start to have bitter feelings towards them, and it makes you so sick. It literally makes you so sick. And you start to have so much animosity that has built up over the course of y'all's times. And for me, it's been years. So I've been kind of feeling this bitterness and this sadness because I wasn't getting what I wanted from the relationship. And it really took a toll on me because I cherished this relationship that I had. I cherished it with everything in me. So it sucked to not, it sucked. And also think about something, right? How does the new version of yourself feel when you return to people who showed you they don't value you, right? How does the new and improved you feel when when you are going back to situations and to people or jobs that aren't fulfilling, that aren't beneficial to you? They showed you they didn't care. And I just want to say, the quicker you release them, the better, because you're going to resent them because they're not doing what you need them to do. They're not coming through for you the way that you need them to. So you definitely have to let them go if it's not, they refuse to prioritize you in the relationship. And I want to mention a quote because I thought it was so interesting. It talks about losing the spark. So it says, losing that spark isn't limited to intimate relationships. It happens in friendships too. If there's effort made to repair it and it works, great. But sometimes trying to restore that feeling makes it worse. Folks evolve and you may not align with that person anymore. That is life. That is exactly, literally, honestly, truly how I felt, because, we truly weren't aligned anymore. And like I said, it sucks, but, you just have to let go. How do you think the new version of yourself feels? And then finally, I want to talk about what happens after you break it off. So, I'm gonna be so real with you. I realized that parting ways, or had I known that parting ways was going to end my pain, right? This weight was lifted. It was going to bring forth clarity and wisdom. And I look at it this way, right? It didn't happen to you, it happened for you. So had I known that, I would have been broke stuff off, because I really truly felt like I was hindering myself or sabotaging myself or stopping me from experiencing relationships or experiencing other people. And I really wanted to normalize being at peace knowing that you tried. I am at peace knowing that I truly exhausted all my options with this person or with this relationship. I did all that I could, and we just grew apart. Honestly, we are just not meant to really be how we used to be, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Everyone can't go with you. And I can genuinely say that I finally ended this unhealthy cycle with this person, and I can no longer be used at their disposal. I let go of all that dead weight, and it just feels really good. And I think that, growing up, I was kind of just taught to forgive because, you love them, they love you. But it's just like, it set me up to continue to deal with people and stay in relationships that have poor treatment, right? So I'm growing up and I'm being taught to stick it out, to work things out because you love them, they love you. But growing up as a young woman, this set me up to stay in relationships that are toxic, or to continue to deal with poor treatment because, hey, I love you, you love me. You can treat me however, it's okay. There's love. And that's such a shitty way to think. Like, that's actually so, so horrible. It's so horrible when you think about it. Like, you don't have to put up with things, or you don't have to stay in situations with people just because there's love. And if you can see me, I'm doing air quotes on the love. Like, that doesn't hold any weight. Right? Because there's people out there who are going to treat you the way that you deserve to be treated. They're going to treat you with respect. They're going to, not give you poor treatment. They're not going to, you have to leave them in the past. You guys have outgrown each other. You can still be cordial. You don't have to, be mean to them. I'm not saying that. You don't have to do any of that. But, you can still be cordial. But honestly, the consequences, right? You just, you disrespect your new self every time you go back to things and situations and people that don't serve you or serve the person that you're becoming. Use you when it's convenient for them. So that was me growing up thinking that, but I'm unlearning this, and just because there's love, air quotes, it doesn't mean I have to allow people to shit on me and treat me however. It's not fair. You don't do that in the name of love. Absolutely not. I am constantly ending these cycles and cutting people off and out of my life, stepping up and standing up for myself more. And that is why I do what I do, because I want to show you that you can do it. Also, this isn't just a me thing. I want you to know that you can do it too. And I'm here to help always. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know. I'm open. I love you guys so much. I will see you on the next episode of Chat with T. Also, my blog is up, so you guys can go give that a read if you want to. It would be very much appreciated. Tell a friend to tell a friend. The Chat with T family is growing and expanding, and we are only